Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. Alright, guys, so let's keep it nice and simple over here on SPY and QQQ. You noted yesterday, you're in this range on every single index. We got SPY in the range. We got QQQ in the range. We got DIA in a range. We got IWM in a range. I'm just going to say right here, IWM already broke out to the upside here. DIA, all right, QQQ, SPY have not. Now, IWM happened to get the most attention to the upside. That was our little canary in the coal mine over here when you started seeing it have risk on behavior. Is that going to be a little hint to where we are headed next? I have absolutely no idea. It's just something that I thought I'd throw in there. All right, what I will point out is if you can break above the high of 475.90, the high of this candlestick right here, which I will point out, this candlestick set your range over here on SPY, the low over here and the high right here. But yeah, if you could break above 475.90, that is when we're going to be coming straight up to 479.98, the current all-time high. I know that sounds crazy, and I understand we're still looking for that pullback, but we don't have that sell side structure set up right now, and we need that to set up in order to see something has changed. All right, guys, whenever that changes, then we know, hey, all right, we have a new condition on the table here that we haven't had this whole entire run. This whole time, we have not been able to set up a lower high into a lower low, or lower high into a lower low. Am I saying that right? It's the other way around. Regardless, you can't set up a daily downtrend, and that is really what I am looking for you to set up. If you can do that, then we're looking at the deeper pullback. We're probably pulling all the way back over here to 462. All right, which more specifically 459.44, just because that was the July top. That is specifically where you broke out from. You could see you had resistance right there. All right, so that is really what I'm looking for. All right, over here on QQQ, I pointed out at the beginning of the video, guys, you're still just in this range. All right, you're in the range. If you could break above, guys, you're going to continue. If you could break down, you got what we just talked about, all right? You're going to literally have a lower high here. If you could break this low now, 402.90. If you could break 402.90, you'll have a lower high of 409.97 in comparison to 410.47, which was set back last Wednesday on our crash day. Now, if you can break up through the high here, guys, I'm going to reiterate what I pointed out yesterday. This candlestick will turn into this, and I remember these days. These were days where bears were like, hey, I think I'm finally going to win one day. And then you just never won. All right, now I'm going to move it over here since we know what we're looking over on the daily time frame now. I'm going to move it over here to the 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to point out we do have this bearish divergence over here on the 4-hour RSI. Now, I will point out the last time you had this bearish divergence, it didn't amount to anything great. All right, you end up going from the high. All right, so imagine you set your high right here. Okay, from that high, you did end up running another $16. That would be equivalent to us doing something like this, and you're going to see SPY up at 490. Not saying that is going to be the case. I'm just pointing out a condition that I see on this chart, and then the last time this condition popped up on the chart. It's literally it. QQQ, I'm guessing. All right, I'm guessing you have something similar over here. You actually don't have a bearish divergence going on over here. All right, let's see. What do we got over here on DIA? We do have that same bearish divergence going on, but last time we did form this, guys, you broke up to the upside. All right, IWM, what are we looking like over here? You also have that same 4-hour bearish divergence, so definitely something to take note of. All right, over here on VIX, you are coming back down. I'm just going to say right now, all right, you want to see VIX hold right here at 1273. That is where you really started basing here and you broke out from that base. All right, if you can hold there, then there's still that shot that we are going to be seeing this. But it really is going to rely on the indices here, guys. Like, are you going to bust them up? You're going to bust them down, all right? Like, it's either you're going to bust this level right here or you're going to bust that level right there. It's one or the other. That's why I said at the beginning of the video, let's keep it simple. All right, I like this. Think we keep things pretty simple here on the channel. All right, speaking of simple, all right, TLT, top of the channel. All right, still in this channel, guys, you see a break here, that is when you take your profits. All right, and you run, and it probably will keep going after that pullback, but you run for the time being. All right, so just keeping it simple for you over there. All right, guys, we are now transitioning into the second half of this video, which is going to be the individual setups. All right, let's look at these things. The first thing I'm going to be pointing out here, not Neo, I accidentally clicked on that one, Hut. Hut was the top focus yesterday. All right, yesterday, your boy got faked out. Now, you did end up printing a hammer candlestick, and then as you see today, you did break out past 1370, and now you're very much so on your way up here to 1675. You have absolutely nothing in between where you are right now, all right, and up here, except this. All right, so you do have minor resistance going on right here, but in terms of, unfilled structure, we're talking all the way up at 1675, and I do think that gets hit. You do have increasing volume on the day. All right, let's just take a look at it. This is a 15% day. You had a 15% day over here. You had some continuation the next day. Last time you actually had 10% of continuation. Where's 10%? Boom, 1675. Congrats to anybody who did end up taking this beautiful break and retest setup. And congrats to anybody who did end up taking the little trade idea / let me put it on your radar right at the bottom at support. All right. It's been absolutely beautiful. Do I wish, I ended up holding my cons? Yes. All right. I did have 2 cons yesterday. I had to sell them for a loss. I think it was 79 cents. Today, guys, right now, I'm guessing those things are probably around 250 bucks. That sucks. That sucks. But yeah, all right. Congrats to anybody who ended up playing our beautiful break and retest. We pointed out, guys, this is like the same chart we had going on over here. Now, AI, you ended up false breakout right there. But you come over to a bunch of these other ones we've been playing, guys. This was the same exact chart we were seeing. Carvana, Roblox is one that's breaking up for the range, so I'll put it on your radar right now. All right, next resistance, guys. We're looking all the way up there at 50 bucks. You will have minor resistance over here at 47 and then all the way over here at 46. But, all right, your major weekly resistance is going to be all the way up there at 50. Yeah, right around 50.75. So that's what I'm looking for over there. And by the way, guys, what is the list I'm going through right here? This is just the focus list. These are the tickers that I'm watching this week. All right, but guys, that Hut setup, it's very similar to what we had going on over here. Upstart, SoFi, they're literally just consolidating right above the breakout, guys. This is picture perfect what we want to see. All right, this is my personal A+ setup, and I would love to share that A+ setup with you guys here on this channel, as well as the Discord members. All right, I have no problem with doing so. As I see these things, I will call these things out. And guys, Neo is a prime candidate of this exact setup right now. I think this thing is going to be seeing the same exact type of action we saw over here on Hut into next week. So that is what I'm going to be looking at. All right, guys. So I'm just going to point out, guys, all right, I have no idea how these things are really going to react. All I could do is I could point to my setup. I could point to the system that I've chosen to go with. And that is this right here. And this is picture perfect. I don't know what else to say. All right. We're looking at 2 different setups here, all right? You have the break and retest off of the falling wedge that you broke out from. Then you have the break and retest out of this range, all right? So you based up around here, pretty similar to what we had over here on Rivian, and you guys all saw how that ended up going, all right? This is the base I speak of right now that we're breaking out of, all right, over there on Neo. You broke out, you're retesting this base. But what's different about Neo, pretend this trend line right here, this, for your parallel channel, pretend it's right there. All right, and it perfectly aligns. All right, and that is the beauty of this setup right here. See that arrow right there? Beautiful. You retested both of them. I absolutely love this setup, and I do think we are going to be seeing 9s and 10s into next week. All right, I'm not saying you do get all the way up to this 10-22 gap fill, but definitely going to be my top focus going to next week, and I'm definitely loaded on 2 separate expirations. All right. I'm just saying, guys, I do think, swings over here. I understand you could have bought them down there, but hey, all right, prime time to be loading them swings, in my personal opinion, right here on Neo. All right, the next one we are going to be taking a look at is SMCI. I told you guys this would be a beautiful setup if we did end up getting that back test. And I'm sorry, guys, my voice is still like this. I'm guessing I did have the flu or something like that. I haven't had a fever in a few days now, so I'm doing that. I've been on Mucinex, so, things are really, the wall that's active in my system. I can very clearly tell when I'm getting to the end of that 4-hour mark, I'll start getting congestion again. I'll start coughing again, start, having the runny nose or whatever you want to call this. All right. But, right now, guys, this is the voice when, things are going not too bad. All right. So they could be worse. But guys, by next week, I will have a normal voice again, and I'm excited for that. All right, but in the meantime, I hope you guys haven't been too annoyed by this raspy half, half voice, I guess we could call it here. All right, SMCI guys, you ended up stalling out right at resistance here. Above there, you have nothing until 341.03 gap fill. That is what I think is next up. All right, in terms of this chart, hey guys, this thing looks sexy. All right, I don't know how else to say it. You just broke out from your, what was this, 4 months of consolidation, guys? Let's be completely real, all right? 129 days. Divide that by 30 days. You get 4 months, all right? 4 months and like 10 days. Guess what, guys? Guess what? You just broke out. We just talked about the same setup over there on Neo. How you got right here, all right? See how you had this little cup action right here? You had this little, I don't even want to call this a base because, to me, a base is something pretty, it's getting pretty tight down here, right? Like right over these 2 candlesticks. I bet if we go over here, let's just literally, boom, boom, we'll go down to the hourly time frame over here. Guess what? You probably had a base, all right? Look at that, all right? You have like one area, one level here where it's really getting just tight there, and then boom. That's the beauty of the base, all right? And it's in all of these setups that I shared. They will, no, we're not going to say all of them, but we're going to say 2/3 of these setups I'm sharing are definitely going to have some sort of base in them. Guys, you did have your breakout right here from this little area. Okay, guess what? Break and retest. Also, your 4 months of consolidation, break and retest. I do think this thing is setting up pretty sexy. I understand. All right, you have a big fat red day today. You have a -6% day. That's scary stuff. But in terms of the chart, guys, it is still bullish. This is literally what we talked about the other day. I think this thing is actually, I think this is your opportunity here, right here. All right, you can go a little lower. You're watching for the golden pocket. This is what I was saying about the base. All right, so I'm not going to call this whole thing a base. I'm going to call this right here, this tight little consolidation that you could very clearly see. This is where sellers are continuously stepping in and it's getting tight up there. You broke out. That's really, worst case scenario over here for the bulls is you're coming all the way back down to that level, all the way back down around 270. All right, and then you're going to perform a break and retest off of that level, and we will readdress the setup then. But as of right now, break and retest off your 4 months of consolidation, this bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. There it is. I do think all-time highs are incoming over here in SMCI. Next one we're going to be taking a look at, FedEx. All right, FedEx is something that I think is, I think this is setting up. I'm not going to give too much detail over here on this one, just because this is, we're going to call it a broad idea here. But you very can clearly see that buyers are stepping in here. All right, you've had this hammer candlestick over here, extremely low volume in comparison to the big drop over there. All right, we'll point out previous times. All right, your drops have actually put in your bottoms. Not immediately, but you typically will end up rounding out a little after, and then boom, end up getting a rally. All right, or we're just going to keep falling. We're going to point out right here. All right, you had a pretty similar setup over here. You had a hammer candlestick, boom, boom, boom. All right, and then you kept falling. So we're going to need to see a setup actually form here is what I'm getting at. That's why I said it's a broad idea here, all right? I do see this going on right here. Okay, you can very clearly see, boom, boom, boom. Right here at this 248.60 level, that is where sellers are stepping in, and you are currently getting above that and retesting that. All right, guys, if you could take out 250, I'm just going to say right now, if you could take out this high here, all right, more specifically, it's right here. All right, this is like your shorter term trade idea here. If you want a real recovery here, you're going to take out the high of this candlestick, which is going to be 250.268. And that is when you have this whole gap on the table. All right, and that is what is going to be played. Now, am I saying overstay your welcome there? No. All right, but you're probably going to see some upward, action over here on this ticker. Low is 278.50. All right, let's put that as our gap fill. We'll make that a green level, guys. If you are new to the channel, just know the green levels are always going to be my gap fills. All right, the red levels are just going to, those are my support and resistance. Your orange levels, those are going to be patterns. All right, patterns, trend lines, just, all of those, okay? But that was FedEx over there with the big drop. Last one I will be pointing out going into the weekend is going to be JD, all right? You have not gotten a breakout here yet, Well, you haven't gotten the fall through. I told you guys in yesterday's video, you did end up getting the breakout here. You're going to want to see fall through with volume here. All right. I wanted to see today get another close outside of this trend line. That would be significant. You did not end up getting it. We're going to have to see what happens going into the end of the trading session. It's currently 2:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have until 4. We're going to have to see what happens in this 2-hour period. All right, but you kind of do have this little flag going on here as well. All right, I really do like this setup. I think China tickers are setting up to go. You got this inverse head and shoulders formation going on right there as well with the slanted upward neckline. All right, and then you look at some of these other China tickers. You got Neo. All right, you come over here to Baba. All right, Baba ain't looking too bad. It's the same thing we're just looking at, that little flag. Now, it does look like, hey, all right, this thing does have room to come down here and literally come and retest where you broke out from over there. But, all right, if you can start breaking up here and you could reclaim this level, you're very quickly probably going to make it all the way up here to 79 bucks. All right. I'm just going to put it out there. China tickers specifically ain't looking too bad to me. All right. Not too bad. Now, if we look at the actual index, this thing died and you actually just broke down from like pretty ugly looking, you know, I don't know if you want to call this like an ugly head and shoulders. I don't know. Regardless, you had support here. You broke down at a daily close under that support. That is a terrible look. All right. So this is, you know, China as a whole here is looking like this. But then you got some of these individual tickers looking absolutely phenomenal. And they look like they're about to start exploding. All right. And in terms of that base, guys, this is just your massive base on the larger time frame. All right. Weekly. Right here. You break above 29 bucks, guys. This thing's going to go for a freaking ride. All right. This thing is literally going to go for a ride. Dated swings, I would say, like down here, this is where you want to be loading up on those. And then, guys, we're going to have the momentum trade when we get that breakout. All right. You're doing both. But guess what? All right. Guess what? If you could break above right here, 29 bucks, that's your double bottom neckline. All right. And from that point, we're going to take this line right here. I'm going to bring you to the bottom of that right there. What's the target we're going to put on the board? We're going to put a $32.50 target on the board if you can break above 29 bucks. All right. I'm actually going to put that on the board right now. All right. Make it a gray line. This is what I've been doing for the Discord. I've been putting TP levels as gray lines. Has it been this gray? Yeah. Was it 32.50? Yeah, 32.50, guys. All right, text, AP. All right, guys. I'm just gonna say right now, my TP1 is not actually gonna be there, but in, you know, on the weekly chart here, yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys. All right, on the weekly chart, guys, this thing really could get moving and grooving all the way back up into 40 bucks. All right, this thing has had a massive breakdown, and you finally are basing out around here. Okay. It could be something like this. You break up from that base, and then you have like a $4 or $5 move, and then you fall back down. I got no idea. That's why I say, like, hey, all right, we're going to be playing the breakout. We're going to be playing that swing. I think it's looking really good. All right. That is pretty much it. Going into this weekend, we will have a weekly update out on Saturday. Okay, so stay tuned for that. But I am going to let you guys know right now. All right. We're going to be taking a look at some broader, you know, trends we got going on here on the weekly time frame. We're gonna be focusing on weekly charts, guys. It's the weekly update, all right? So I'm just giving you a fair warning, all right? If you are new to the channel, it can turn into a longer video. We are going to have to see about that. We're gonna have more substance in these videos, but all right, but we'll do our best to keep them clear and concise and to that point. Just like this video right here. All right, guys. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Everybody have a lovely rest of your Friday, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.